Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Never, under any circumstances, bend the knee and apologize to the chronically professionally offended on social media. A few days ago, this little thing popped up, and my first thought was, oh, they're taking the piss out of Stellar Blade. April 27th, Farm Folks posted on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. All right, folks, it's time for some serious game development talk. We're tinkering with our characters' physics in Farm Folks. Burning question, which version has the perfect breast jiggle physics? I saw that, and I immediately started laughing, because all I could think of was like, this is a joke. They're making fun, and they're trying to, more than likely, cash in, take advantage of the Stellar Blade discussion and the jiggle physics. I keep wanting to say the wrong term. I'm not going to make excuses for it. It is what it is. You know where my brain is going. Oh, boy. I immediately thought they were taking the piss. They were laughing, and I laughed too. But one thing I didn't notice is this extra little comment there. It then shared 3 different videos of different physics for the female characters. A follow-up post stated, does anyone want to see what 150% looks like? And I think this post is gone on X, but yeah, it showed all these ladies jogging and bouncing and everything. And this is an obvious piss take. This is an obvious joke. But naturally, when you're on Twitter, the cesspool that it is, or X, anyway, call it whatever the hell you want to, the usual suspects are going to get so offended and so hurt, and my goodness. First up, the post received backlash from a number of individuals, including consultancy Black Girl Gamers, saying, this ain't it. Well, you ain't it, Black Girl Gamers, because, I'm sorry, not enough people give a rat's ass about what your opinion is, especially when it comes to video games. Followed up and said, as you can imagine, boobs are sensitive. Yes, boobs are very sensitive. You can ask any lady, and Fat Man, they are a bit sensitive, especially when you're running and jogging and bouncing all over the place. You need some proper support, but no, of course, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the sensitive subject, especially since women have been the subject of a lot of vitriol in gaming lately in the latest discourse regarding sexualization of characters, only when it's sexualization that you don't like. If it is the right sexualization of a character, like, oh, I don't know, Aphrodite in Hades 2, that is the safe sexualization of characters, because she naked, completely and totally naked. But the wrong kind of sexualization, such as Eve from Stellar Blade, or Taki, she's pretty hot too. Lily's nice looking too, that's my type. Anyway, that sort of sexualization, the kind that the vast majority of the cis, hetero, white male gamers do not like, or do like, that's the bad sexualization. Anything that the gamer TM likes, that is verboten. We can't have that. That is the bad sexualization of characters. Unacceptable. Now, bear druid sex with another male character? Well, that's perfectly all right. Abby getting raw dogged in Last of Us Part 2? Perfectly fine. Eve, who remains covered up in the entire video game with a few panty shots and upskirts and wearing a thong, giggity, that is not okay. Why is that, dear Black Girl Gamers? Because, I'm sorry, latest discourse of sexualization. There's good sexualization, there's bad sexualization, and I'm going to stumble over my words, so let's keep going. If this is indeed, what the, holy shit, you typed this and you left it there. Okay. If this is indeed has body positivity intention, then in future, it may be worth changing the copy of the tweet to reflect that, i.e., i.e., additionally, if your bio disclosed that the game is meant to be an adult farming simulator. Oh, okay, we're going to go, it's the adult farming simulator. Then that might curb people's reactions. What reactions? Reactions from the people who are not going to buy the game. The terminally online, terminally offended individuals who scream about the bad sexualization of the characters are not the ones to buy the game. Why would I say that? Well, apparently, there was a few people that had something else to say, but let's get into this. Yeah, the foolishness. I'm gonna say the word the foolishness. One user wrote, quote, "Good to know what game to avoid in the future. Good. You avoid it, and 10 other people, if they would have stuck with this, you're one who don't want to buy this game, don't understand what an obvious joke is. You go ahead and don't buy it. 10 or 15 other people that think, that's a laugh, I'm going to check this out. And they're going to get the money from that. So you go ahead and take your chronically online, chronically offended, wake up every day looking for something to be offended by in order to justify your meaningless existence, and take your money elsewhere. We'll open our wallets for it and make the game even more successful than you ever could." Why is this physic even something you think of? Because it was a joke. It's an obvious fucking joke. He even followed it up with, "Who wants to see 150%? It's a joke. Learn to laugh. Let alone ask your community for advice." Well, heaven forbid a game developer. Now let's for a moment. Let's think. Let's believe that the post is a genuine question. It is a legitimate, serious question. Asking your community what they would like to see, the people who are actually going to buy the game, what would you like to see? We want some sort of realism in there. Is this appropriate? Feedback, please. But no, you automatically get your tiny little thong all pulled so far up your bonus hole that you just immediately go into the negative offended. Go ahead. Keep doing that. "If I was a woman, then I wouldn't feel safe with you. Are you serious? Oh my goodness. You go on with your ally self." Another posted, "Long-time backer of Farm Folks. I've enjoyed watching the development up to this point." This post, though, asking the community what their opinion is. This post of asking the community what your opinion is. Not so much. Not the wholesome content we've come to expect. Again, could be a joke. If it's not a joke, asking people what they think. Why is that wrong? My goodness, dear Caroline. Runs with pencils, don't trip. Or maybe you could, anyway, in Minecraft. However, many of the comments shared their opinion on which physics option they preferred. My goodness, community feedback for a legitimate, or what could be a legitimate question. Joke or not, actual legitimate feedback. I'd go with the 50% since she's just jogging. 50%. Add a slider. Not a bad idea. 30% for me. My goodness. Oh, even more people shared their thoughts. I find this completely unnecessary. Okay, cool. Let's see. 50% if it's there without just being a solid, rigid body. It's not dead or alive. Because, I mean, yeah, really, the dead or alive physics, you don't need that. Something a little lower so you're not just walking around like a plank of wood. I don't mind that. That's not bad. That's actual, legitimate, constructive criticism. We need to know. I mean, how can we be sure? Oh, my goodness. 50% seems right if we're talking no support or minimum. But active person-wise, 30 is more likely. My goodness, someone answering the actual question. Well, unfortunately, despite seemingly overwhelming majority engaging with the post in good faith, Farm Folks did the unthinkable. They issued an apology. And this good old apology right here. Never bend the knee, never apologize. Because once you do it once, you are done. You are dead. Your credibility is shot. If it was just a joke, you leave it there. You let people scream and whine and just moan and groan. And you filter out the nonsense and you find the actual constructive criticism. Hey, folks. We would like to address a recent post where we came to our community asking for feedback. You're not allowed to do that. Our intent is always to connect and grow with our players, but it's clear that we really missed the mark. No, you did not. You did not miss the mark. You're missing the mark here by apologizing. On our recent community feedback post, it's community feedback. For that, we sincerely apologize. Never do that. We had received concern about the female player model's breast physics in the past. So you had a legitimate reason for asking the community what they wanted, and yet you're still gonna bend the knee to these nonsensical, these actual I would call it fake outrage, legitimate, actual fake outrage for people who are not going to buy your game. At least not a majority of people that are going to buy your game. You had a reason to ask because you had received concerns about the female player model's breast physics in the past. Then what is wrong with that question actually going to the community that is going to spend their hard-earned money, the ones who are going to actually support you? Ask them the question. We should ask the community. What felt more appropriate? That crossed the line? No, absolutely it did not. It's exactly what you should do. We tried to foster a welcoming community, which you did. Unfortunately, the wrong people got a hold of your post and started screeching from the rafters, like acting like they're offended, when you did exactly what you should do. You did something that players would beg developers to do. Ask their opinions. Sure, 150% physics, that was a joke. And most sensible people, those with higher than room temperature IQ, that have avoided eating paint chips, they understand. It was inappropriate. No, it wasn't. It was a joke. It's a joke. We value the feedback of our community, then why are you apologizing? You bent the knee to people who are not going to buy your game. They're going to use that and hold that over your head for as long as you are developing games. And it's your own fault. Pose the question, ignore the fake outrage, because that's what it is. They're looking for something to get upset about. The people you had over here actually answering the questions. Sorry, find it completely unnecessary. Sure. Not saying, you did wrong, you need to apologize. Saying, found it unnecessary. But 50%, 30%, whatever. People understand what you're saying, understand what you're asking, but you went and apologized. It was the wrong thing to do. It was the worst thing to do. I say again, you apologize to people who are not going to buy your game, not the actual community who appreciate you asking and were more than willing to give you the feedback you requested. A feedback you were looking for based on incidents in the past, issues in the past. Sorry, farm folks, you never should have apologized. I hope. Will this affect the sales of your game? I guess it remains to be seen, because the people screeching about it, demanding the apology, they weren't going to buy it anyway. But let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Do all those nifty little things that YouTube is begging you to do, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.